Episode 14. Here, I'll pay with this. With a radiant 1,000-watt smile, Nanshen took out the legendary unlimited black card, the hallmark of every CEO in novels and dramas, looking effortlessly handsome as he did so. The waiter, a man and very much straight, couldn't help but blush at the sight of Nanshen's dazzling smile. This gentleman looked like an angel, Michael, the god's messenger, or something close to it. Tanhua, just like the waiter, found herself momentarily enchanted by Nanshen's angelic smile. Nanshen-sama. Handsome, and more importantly, generous. Husband material. She felt a surge of happiness. Nanshen had invited her to a romantic dinner and was even going to pay for her meal. It was like a dream come true. She was about to float into the seventh heaven when Nanshen suddenly dropped a bombshell. But I'll only pay for my own order. This boy's meal, he'll have to cover it himself. With the same radiant smile, Nanshen still looked like an angel from heaven, despite being an absolute devil inside. Of course, in Tanhua's eyes, Nanshen would have remained just as handsome, if not for his last sentence. What did you say? I have to pay for myself? Why? Tanhua was stunned by the sheer absurdity of Nanshen's words. How could he do this to his beloved employee? What happened to being a generous boss? What about being husband material? Still reeling from the shock, Tanhua suddenly had a realization. Wait, don't tell her that. All of this, had been planned by that devil from the start? Then the whole scenario of Nanshen bringing her to this restaurant. It was a trap. Wait, boss? But, didn't you say? Tanhua's voice wavered as she nearly broke into tears. I never said I would pay for your meal too. I only said you could order anything you wanted, as long as you paid for it yourself, Nanshen replied, tilting his head with an innocent expression. He spoke so naturally that it made it seem as if Tanhua were a shameless employee who had expected her boss to pay for her meal. Tanhua's face darkened with anger. Technically, Nanshen never explicitly said he would pay for her, but wasn't it common courtesy for a man to pay for a woman's meal? Tanhua felt like her head was about to explode. Could she kick this devil? She could, right? Forget it, Nanshen. I take back my words. You're neither kind nor generous. You are the worst boss in the entire universe. Of course, she didn't say that out loud. Instead, she clenched her fists, glaring at Nanshen as if he were the most despicable villain in existence, which, in her eyes, he absolutely was. Regret filled her. She had trusted this devil. She had actually believed he would pay for her meal. She was so dumb. How could she have fallen for it? She should have known better. There was no way this devil would be so kind. Why? Why did Boss Nanshen always treat her like this? Did he hold a grudge against her or something? Just why? All right, Mr. Nan. The waiter took Nanshen's card with a polite smile, completely unaware of Tanhua's inner turmoil. Then, turning to Tanhua with the same courteous smile, the waiter kindly handed her the bill. Still in shock from the betrayal, Tanhua could barely process what was happening. She wanted to set the bill on fire, but with great restraint, she forced herself to take it, her hands trembling as she struggled to maintain a neutral expression. Calm down, Tanhua. The meal won't be that expensive. She could cover it with her savings. It wouldn't be that bad. She reassured herself over and over. But then, as she finally looked at the bill, she nearly fainted on the spot. What was this price? That meal she just had cost around $1,000. It was unreasonable. What kind of meal would cost $1,000? Tanhua's face turned pale as tears gathered at the corners of her eyes. $1,000. Her savings didn't even reach 500. What was she supposed to do? She couldn't pay. If she couldn't pay, then she might get caught by the police for not paying. Someone help. That someone was already there, standing beside her with a wide grin on his face. Nanshen was in an excellent mood after seeing Tanhua's devastated expression. This was what she got for refusing to be his loyal follower. It was an honor to be recognized as one of his people, after all. While Tanhua was desperately trying to figure out a way to get the money, Nanshen was thoroughly enjoying her expressions. It was amusing to watch this silly boy struggle. He felt incredibly satisfied. Now, cry to him and beg for help. Maybe he would help, of course, for a suitable price. Tanhua was in complete despair, realizing she couldn't pay for the meal even if she emptied all her savings. Was there no other option besides washing dishes at this fancy restaurant until she cleared her debt? But she didn't want to do that. What should she do? Was there really no way out? As she frantically searched for a solution, her eyes accidentally landed on Nanshen, who was waiting patiently for his bait to catch the fish. Or rather, the dog. A spark of realization struck her. The only way out of this problem was borrowing this devil's power. Tanhua turned to Nanshen with teary eyes and activated her acting skills. Pitiful expression mode on. Boss. Her voice trembled as she looked up at him, her expression pitiful, like a dog abandoned by its master. She even softened her voice into a pleading tone. Nanshen froze. He couldn't stop himself from reaching out and pinching Tanhua's cheek. She looked so much like a lost puppy that it hit him right in his soft spot. Nanshen had a weakness for dogs, and seeing Tanhua put on that expression made it impossible for him to be cruel. Even though he enjoyed seeing his dog suffer, the way Tanhua looked at him, as if he had truly abandoned her, made it difficult to keep up the act. This boy? Really? Nanshen sighed, glancing at Tanhua, who was still playing the part of a pitiful little creature. Even without her saying a word, he already knew what she wanted. Boss, help me. To add more weight to her plea, Tanhua cleverly tugged on Nanshen's suit, still looking up at him with teary eyes. She knew his weakness. She had observed him carefully before, and she was sure this was the one act Nanshen couldn't resist. Of course, this strategy only worked because Nanshen saw her as a dog. If not, it would fail. Maybe it was a good thing he thought of her as a puppy? Wait, no, she was human, not a dog. But if this was what it took to avoid paying that outrageous bill, then fine. She would play along. Nanshen placed a hand over his face, his shoulders shaking slightly. What was this move? This boy was surprisingly cunning. He was secretly pleased that Tanhua had relied on him, but he didn't show it. He had wanted her to beg, and now that she had, he should step in. I'll pay for his part too, Nanshen finally said. Relief washed over Tanhua. Boss, you are so kind, thank you. In her excitement, she nearly kissed Nanshen's cheek, but he pushed her face away just before she could land the kiss. This boy was way too quick to kiss people. Nanshen was slightly irritated that Tanhua could so easily hand out kisses whenever someone was kind to her. But little did he know, this treatment was special for him. Why are you thanking me? Nanshen smirked. I didn't pay for you. I'm just lending you the money. You still have to pay me back later. The excitement on Tanhua's face vanished instantly. What did he just say? He was only lending her the money? She felt her world spin as she nearly collapsed from sheer despair.